My little boy understands something the Liberals do not, which is that in baseball and in politics, it's 3 strikes and you're out.
Okay, well, I like the sound of that. Campaign is in full swing now. Ladies and gents, welcome back. It has been announced we are going into an election. It starts now and it will be going on for the next couple of months, and we'll be deciding a new leader for Canada, the prime ministership, and well, see who gets their riding, who gets new MPs. Where is it going to go? Where is the future of Canada going? Now, here are the choices. Here in this one, we've got Mark Carney for the Liberals, and of course Pierre for the Conservative Party. We've got Blanchette for the Bloc Québécois. I mean, let's face it. This the second half of this is not really the contenders. It really is between these two men. You got Jagmeet Singh, who's diving in the polls. His party wants him out. That's not a thing. And then you have this guy. I don't even remember his name, from the Greens. He said he was gonna step down months ago, but I guess they're pushing him into this. Marty up north asking, where's Max? Where is Max? You know what? We're going to be talking about that this evening on the live stream. So tune into that with Jasmine Lane and Frank Vaughn. We're going to be talking about the People's Party, Mad Max, and the whole thing about all of that. But hey, let me just have a sip from my coffee here. What am I drinking? That's right. I'm drinking the Clyde Brew Something lineup. That's right. Come on over and check out the coffee that we've been putting together. This isn't some drop ship coffee that we just, grabbing from some company. No, we're actually doing this from Vancouver, British Columbia. And that's right. I am involved in the process. I'm a bit of a coffee connoisseur myself, and I really love the process of making coffee. So I got together with a good friend of mine who actually does this roasting. He's a master roaster. He's been doing this for a number of years, and we got together to bring you guys a perfect lineup of brews for the morning. And I've been helping out along with the taste testing. Let's just say that's my portion of this whole thing, but we've got some great flavors. Check out, we've got Maga Medium. We're making Americanos great again. Forget that Canadiano crap. We're doing dark humor, and we've got our ecological decaf. So if you can't stand the jitters, you keep your cup of that going over there. And we also have these brilliant mugs here on the website. But let's get on with the story here. Now, who are the real contenders in this race? Well, it's going to be coming down to who is in the riding that Mark Carney is going to be in. Now, of course, Alex Zoltan saying Barbara Ball is our star candidate. Also, Chandra Arya is running as an independent. Well, why is he running as an independent in that riding? Of course, go check her out. Her Twitter's been blowing up. This is Barbara Ball. She's going to be the Conservative candidate in the riding that Mark Carney is running in. Well, why is he running in this riding? Well, he's picked this riding because it's in Ottawa. I think they believe that it's a shoe-in for the Liberal. It doesn't matter who's running as a Liberal in this riding. But who's from there? Well, it was actually Chandra Arya's riding. Carney, who won the leadership race on March 9th, will be running for Ottawa, the Ottawa seat held by since 2015 by Liberal MP Chandra Arya, who was expelled from the Liberal race. Why? Because it looked like he was doing well. It might have been a contest between him and Mark Carney, so he was expelled from the race. They found some weird excuses to kick him out, and I think he's going to be challenging this. He was talking about lawsuits in the past about this. However, the party told Arya this past week that his candidacy for the next general election has been revoked. So they didn't just kick him out of the liberal leadership race. They kicked him out of the party so that Mark Carney can come in and do this. Sounds corrupt? Probably, because it is. But here's Mark Carney's answer. I had to speed this up because these people talk very slow.
Why did you choose to run in the riding of Nepean, and what was involved in your decision in terms of also the fact that Mr. Chandra Arya, who has represented this riding for quite some time as a Liberal, what is the situation involving him being disqualified from running in this race? And do you live in this riding?
Several things there in your question. First, the decision of candidates selection or candidate approval, we have within the Liberal Party a committee called the Green Light Committee, which takes into account various information about candidates, does basic candidate due diligence, if I can put it that way. Mr. Arya, so I'm not a member of that committee. They take their decisions. Mr. Arya, as you know, was disqualified from the leadership race for the Liberal Party.
It was out of my hands. It was out of my hands, is what he's saying. It's not in my control. This is something that somebody else had to do. Of course, this all sounds like garbage to me. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think. But it seems like they wanted to find a liberal stronghold for him to run in. And so they had to kick out a candidate, one of a minority status as well. It's just, you can't make this stuff up, folks. But this is where we're at. Now, where is the campaign? What are some of the talking points, all of these things? Well, on the Conservative side, it's about cutting your taxes. Canadians are really some of the highest tax burden in the world, and we're not doing so well because of it. Pierre Poilievre saying, breaking, a new Conservative government will cut income taxes by 15% for the average Canadian. Tax cut for seniors and workers will save a family almost $2,000. You've earned it. Bring it home for a change.
A father and a son sitting in a park on a bench, and the son said, "Dad, what is an income tax form?" And the father looked at him and said, "Well, son, it's the opposite of your report card. The better you do, the more you get punished." It's the fine you pay for the crime of working hard.
And that's on top of all the other taxes you pay. There's the GST and PST and HST, capital gains tax, the carbon tax on top of the gas tax, property tax, payroll tax, tax on imports, tax on exports, sin tax. The list goes on. When you add it all up, Canadians spend more on tax than on food, clothing, and shelter combined. And after the lost Liberal decade, the government is taking more of your paycheck than ever before. Most of these Liberal tax hikes happened while Mark Carney was Justin Trudeau's economic advisor. Now Carney proposes billions of dollars of additional spending that will mean even higher taxes for you. Electing the Liberals to a fourth term will only make your tax bill go up. Today, as we kick off the election, I'm announcing that common sense Conservatives will cut income taxes by 15% for the average Canadian. The average Canadian earns $57,000. A couple, each making the average income, will save $1,800. The average worker will save $900. But because we'll cut the rate on the lowest income bracket, everyone who pays income tax will pay less of it. As a percentage, modest income people will save the most. This means you'll keep more of your paycheck and hard work will pay off. Seniors will pay less tax on their retirement income. Welders, waitresses, and other workers will keep more of their tips and paychecks. We'll free up money for this tax cut by eliminating waste, cutting bureaucracy and consultants, and capping spending with a dollar-for-dollar law. Lowering income tax is part of my Bring It Home tax cut on work, investment, energy, and home building.
Sounds like it's in the right direction. Let's just be frank with that. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to watch the rest of this. But, many people with positive looks on this one. Zachary with this great one. He says, but Trump promised a 50% tax cut. Yeah, that is true. That is true. But this is the beginning of the campaign, so maybe it can go up. A big old wink in that direction. That's the thing. The rhetoric will ramp up as this election gets closer to the vote. So imagine what he's saying here. We'll go. We're going to learn more. We're going to learn more over the next coming weeks here. But what is the National Post saying about the campaign for Mark Carney? Well, Peter Foster has to say, Mark Carney, man of destiny, wants to revolutionize society, and it won't be pleasant. From the archives, what Carney ultimately wants is a technocratic dictatorship justified by climate alarmism. You don't believe me? Well, here's Mario Zelaya, and he's pointing out what's been going on for decades. And if you think that this guy's going to give up on his life's work in order to come up with some new strategy, I got a bridge to sell you in New York. That's what it's about.
This article here, you're not going to find anywhere because this was printed back in 2021, and I'm going to blow your mind. Watch this. So I'm going to zoom into these sections so you can see what I see. In Mark Carney's book, Values, Building a Better World, he says that Western society is morally rotten and that it has been corrupted by capitalism. He claims it requires rigid controls on personal freedom, industry, and corporate funding. Since about 2020, Carney has been front and center in the promotion of a political agenda known as the Great Reset, all predicated on the disruption of the global economy, providing a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to not just regulate climate, but to frame it a more fair, more diverse, and more inclusive, more safe, and more woke world.
Woke world.
Carney
that's what we need
draws
more of,
inspiration from, among others, Marx, Engels, and Lenin. But the agenda he promotes differs from Marxism in two key respects. First, the private sector is not to be expropriated, but made a partner in reshaping the economy and society. Second, it does not make a promise to make the lives of ordinary people better, but worse. Carney's Brave New World will be one of severely constrained choice, less flying, less meat, more inconvenience, and more poverty.
We'll see a lot more of that, and along the lines of that, we'll see a lot more of this. This is from Aaron Gunn's new film. I'll leave a link in the description down below. Here's an excerpt from this. But this is what we're gonna be. We need all those tax dollars, because where are those tax dollars gonna go? They're gonna go towards more of this.
London police officers with London taxpayer money are removing opioids from the street that have been provided by the Canadian government.
They've been put there by
And
the
if
government.
that's not madness, I can't tell you what madness is.
We became the dealers, and that's the most frustrating thing is how do you go after the biggest drug dealer in society when it's your own government?
That's really a good question, and I'll leave that one in the comments down below, sir, in the description down below. Go check out the film. It is fantastic. It's really good to watch as the destructive forces of this liberal government over the past 10 years. This is where we're at with it. But I'd love to leave the question with you in the comments down below. Where do you stand on all of this? Who do you think you're going to vote for in the next election? I think I know where the direction of this is going to go in the comments, but what are the biggest concerns for you, and what are you hoping that these candidates will raise in this election for the plight of the average Canadian? I'd love to hear it. And of course, don't forget to tune in tonight. We're going to be live at 6:30 Pacific, that's 9:30 Eastern, tonight with Jasmine Lane and Frank Vaughn talking about, well, the PPC and where that's going and what's been happening with that. I think that should be an interesting conversation. We'll see you then. Keep on trucking.